Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today on O Face Wrestling. This is your host JT, and today I am joined by Krista B from Those Wrestling Girls.
Hi, how are
So,
you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting ready for Rumble. Getting ready for Rumble.
I think we all are. Only 3 days away now.
hmm
So, we're going to discuss our predictions for the Royal Rumble card. We're going to talk about, mainly the key matches on the card.
Yeah.
So let's get to it. Let's start off with Bailey defending SmackDown Women's Championship against Lacey Evans.
So for me, and this is kind of hard for me, or maybe shocking, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Lacey. I feel like she's at her tipping point with Bailey and Sasha. I feel like it's time for a new women's champion. I feel like Lacey can do it. And at first, I wasn't a big Lacey Evans fan, so it's not like I'm, cheering for her now. No, I wasn't a big Lacey Evans fan, but I feel like now because you're getting personal with her, she's like really bringing out what needed to be brought out of her, especially because you're trying to intimidate her daughter. Lacey's gonna take this belt. I feel like Lacey's gonna do it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a pretty good reasoning. I'm gonna have to go with the opposite pick of you. I'm gonna go with Bailey, just because I don't know. Like, I just can't see Lacey at least right now winning the championship. But it just all signs are pointing to a Sasha and Bailey feud leading up to WrestleMania, and it just makes sense the title being involved in that feud. I mean, I definitely feel like they're gonna feud regardless, but I just feel like Sasha's gonna turn on Bailey, and the whole Lacey feud is just temporary, just to give Bailey something to do. So I'm gonna have to go with Bailey on this one.
I think the feud can still happen. Now, this is how I feel like it can happen. Sasha will interfere in the match trying to distract Lacey, but inadvertently distracts Bailey. Lacey goes for a roll up, wins the title. Bailey gets upset and attacks Sasha, and then from there, that's when that feud will carry on. I don't know if it'll be all the way to Mania, maybe to Mania, but that's when that feud will carry on. Will carry
Gotcha.
on.
I could
But I,
definitely see something like that happening in the
but
match.
I also don't want Bailey and Sasha to feud because I want the four horsewomen in some way, shape, form, fashion to join together. So when the other four horsewomen come up and Ronda makes her comeback, they can have that at Mania because that's a big event. Like I feel like I thought I wanted it for Survivor Series, we didn't get it for Survivor Series. We didn't get it for Elimination Chamber, so we need it for Rumble, and we never know who's gonna pop up at Rumble anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, I that's a match I want to see. I definitely want four horsewomen versus four horsemen. A lot of people on social media aren't really for that match anymore. I think a big part of it just because a lot of people don't feel like Marina Shafir and Jessamine Majuk are established enough. But I think that maybe because regardless, I don't see all of WWE's four horsewomen being all face or all heel at the same time. We had that that moment passed, a few months ago prior to Sasha turning heel, but I could see something like that maybe happening at SummerSlam instead.
Yeah.
Maybe next year's Survivor, or technically this year's Survivor Series now. But I just have that gut feeling that it's Sasha versus Bailey for the SmackDown title at WrestleMania, and we'll probably get like a Becky versus Ronda or a Becky versus Shayna at WrestleMania.
Well, we need a Becky versus Ronda because we never got our 1-on-1.
Yeah, like I wanted that match so bad at Survivor Series, and of course, I
Mm-hmm.
think them holding that match off was good, just because it allowed them to kind of build everything up a little bit more. But I think WrestleMania was the perfect time for it, but they threw Charlotte in there and turned it into a triple threat.
Yeah, which I didn't agree with at all, but it was a hell of a match. I was there to witness it in person, so hey, I'm cool with it, I guess.
And we'll talk more about that when we get to the Becky match. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
why not just talk about Becky versus Asuka right now? So kind of weird. Becky Lynch is defending her title against Asuka, which is currently the women's tag team champion. So it's kind of makes me feel like that Asuka's not going to win because of that. But what's your opinion?
Well, of course, I don't want Becky to drop it to Asuka because it's just going to be like the same thing at last year's Royal Rumble. Their match was first. They opened. Asuka beat Becky, so she had the belt, and then Becky into Rumble, I don't need a repeat. I need for Becky to cross Oscar off her list, and then for her to move on to somebody other than Oscar. Maybe Naomi, if a heel Naomi was to come back, maybe Ember Moon, somebody like that. Like I don't need Oscar to beat Becky for the belt because right now what she's doing with the tag teams, but Kyrie saying it's a really good shtick. It really moves. So for her to be Oscar two belts, one doesn't have a ring to it, so no. Two, I feel like they should just leave the tag team division, even though there's a lacking in it. They should just continue to leave that with the belts.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm expecting Becky to retain. I think this is more of just a temporary feud, just basically to give Becky something to do. Because honestly, they really haven't done a good job of establishing other women on the Raw brand. I mean, the only other storyline they really got going on is the Lana and Liv Morgan kind of thing, which is not really doing much for me right now. So I think that, Becky's going to retain, and then somebody's going to return soon and challenge her, whether it's Ronda, Shayna, like you mentioned, Naomi, maybe Ember Moon, but I don't know if Ember Moon's returning anytime soon. The time frame that she gave for us for the ender is like 4 to 12 months or something like that. So it's like you really don't know with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Becky retaining is just very predictable. And like you said, she'll get that win back and, kind of go on with something else leading up to WrestleMania.
Right.
So next match on the card is Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. I know you're a pretty
Okay.
big Roman fan.
Right. We all know how I feel about Roman Reigns. If you don't know that I am a Samoan dynasty family legacy stan, then I don't know where y'all been at. But I was happy when the Usos returned. I'm so happy that the Usos are back. The bloodline, the family stronger than ever. But I am getting tired of this feud between King Corbin and Roman, the Usos, Ziggler, Rude. I'm getting tired of it because it's just like, give me more than this. Like you already got him at Rumble. Then you already got him multiple accounts on SmackDown. Give me something else. Like I know the Usos did their first match last week, which was an amazing match. But give me something else at this point. I'm so sick of Corbin and Reigns. Like Corbin is a baby to me, and Reigns is always gonna be that powerhouse. So it's just like, come on now, like I'm tired.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Oh, Roman, hands down. That's not even a question.
Yeah, I
Not
kind
even
of
an
think
answer.
I got Roman too. I mean, WWE clearly likes Baron Corbin, but they like Roman Reigns more, and I think it's just a matter of time before they actually insert Roman into the title picture. So I think him getting the win is pretty almost guaranteed. Honestly, like I just don't see Baron Corbin to win in this match.
But I think that's also what he wants. I think Roman wanted to take it slow to get back into the title shot. Now with WrestleMania coming up, he wants to headline WrestleMania. He wants to be back in that title shot. So sorry. So maybe him defeating Corbin. I won't say it's an upset because Roman's ranking is way higher than Corbin's. But maybe that's just that push he needed to get back into Mania spotlight.
I think so too. I think WWE's done a pretty good job with Roman. Like when he came back from leukemia, they put him in mid card feud. It was on Drew McIntyre, Shane McMahon, and King Corbin and all. And I think that's the best way instead of shoving him down our throat like they've done in the past. They're slowly building him up, and fans are actually accepting him now. Just I kind of worry when they do put him back in the title picture, are the fans going to turn on him just like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we have to see. But let's, for the record, I never turned on Roman when it was booing him or anything. Ever. True Roman stand over here.
Personally, I used to love Roman Reigns. He kind of was my favorite wrestler at one point back in the Shield days. And then when, they all split up and went on their own path, I lost interest in Roman Reigns, to be honest with you. I just, it really kind of irritated me that they never gave him his own identity. Like he kept with the Shield gear and the theme and all that kind of stuff. So, and honestly, he's not really good on the mic, so that kind of really didn't help him out. I feel like we need a Roman heel turn. It did The Rock wonders because when he first debuted in WWE, he was a face and fans really didn't like him, and then he turned heel, joined the Nation of Domination, and his career took off. I want to see them do something like that with Roman. I feel like he needs to turn heel, not necessarily join like a faction or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think he just needs to be an asshole. He needs to keep his mouth closed and keep away with the mic and just destroy people. He's a big guy. We saw him do it in the Shield. He could just spear and just destroy and dominate anyone. Like I think that's what they need to do. Leading up to, I don't want to say leading up to WrestleMania, maybe after WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
the Raw after Mania. I think it's a good opportunity to turn him heel.
I agree. Yeah, I don't disagree with the fact that Roman turning heel because he's been a face. He wasn't that good on the mic before, but I feel like he's improving. I feel like a heel turn would be the next best thing. But now it's like, do you do a heel turn by yourself, or do you do a heel turn with your bloodline, your cousins who came out to save you?
I would love
That's the
that.
question.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Especially because there's a decent amount of factions that they could feud with. I mean, some people might say there's too many, but I mean, they could feud with the New Day, maybe even feud with Rollins and the Authors of Pain or AOP. I mean, even though they're
Mm-hmm.
heels, I mean, WWE's done that before. They had the Shield and the Wyatt family feud when they both were heels. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been done before, but I mean, I think that would be a pretty, good opportunity to kind of revive both Usos and Roman Reigns.
That's true. But I also think that Ambrose needs to come back as well.
I don't think that's gonna happen though. I mean, I know
Yeah, I
he's in
know.
AEW and all that, but yeah, I wouldn't get my hopes up on that anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not either.
So, last match before we talk about the Rumble matches, the Fiend Bray Wyatt defended his Universal title against Daniel Bryan.
Mm,
Got there.
I'm not a big fan of the Fiend,
This,
but I'm not a big fan of the Fiend. Daniel Bryan, I do love Daniel. Oh, sorry. I do love Daniel. But I'm not sure who I want to win. Whoever win, I wouldn't be mad at, but I'm not sure who I want to win at all.
see,
'Cause I feel like Daniel is in a lose lose situation. If he wins, he still has the Miz after him. Will come after him. But if he loses, he smells defeat in the Fiend, and then you still have the Miz coming after him. So either way, he's in a lose situation.
like my opinion is, well, I think like with me, like I'm a little bit of the opposite. Like I love the Fiend. Every time he's on TV, Firefly Funhouse, I'm just, my eyes are glued on the TV. I love Bray Wyatt as the Fiend. Daniel Bryan, I've always liked him. I preferred him as a heel,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. But I'm predicting that Bray Wyatt will win this match. It seems like they're kind of teasing a feud between him and Kane. And there's even been like an advertisement for a Saudi Arabia event coming up next month where he's going to be defending against Kane.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm just like, why? Kane is old and retired. Well, he's not retired, but he's a mayor.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those because that's kind of the whole theme with these Saudi Arabia events is like the legends. That's what they want to see. I mean, the people who are paying WWE, they're very old school. Like they try to book wrestlers who aren't even alive anymore. Like that's just how out of date and out of touch they are. So they want these legends and all that. So I think that's WWE's way of accommodating them. But I don't mind it, to be honest with you, because I know when Kane showed up on Raw back in like October, I think it was, the Fiend
Mm-hmm.
attacked him. Ever since then, I've
Yeah.
been back and wanting that because I want to see, the Fiend versus Undertaker at some point, and I feel like him going through Kane first would be pretty cool since they're kayfabe brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, regardless, I mean Bray Wyatt's like one of the hottest things in wrestling right now, and I just cannot imagine him dropping his title anytime before WrestleMania. So I think that this, and especially like you said, it looks like Daniel Bryan and might have something going on with the Miz. So I think that I mean maybe the Miz will cost him the match. I mean
Yeah, maybe.
I
Like
don't.
coming out trying to help, and then yeah, cost him the match. Maybe it could probably happen that way too.
The only thing is, like, I know Miz is kind of he got the thing going on with John Morrison now that he's returned. So it's like, is he gonna? Because I'm kind of predicting that maybe the Miz and John Morrison will eventually start feuding, leading the WrestleMania. I mean, them teaming up might just be kind of a temporary thing.
Right. I feel like John Morrison's ego is gonna swallow him up, and he's gonna become so egotistical, just like um Dolph Ziggler did with Drew McIntyre. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so I mean, just like regardless, though, I got the Fiend. I just can't see him losing, and then, I don't want to see him lose either. So I'll pick Bray Wyatt for this.
Okay.
All right, now for the Rumble matches, the matches that we want to see the most, that make this pay per view. So let's start with the men's Royal Rumble. So this match is a little bit more unpredictable than the women's because there's been lots of rumors about specific women winning their matches, but there's really no clear cut winner that a lot of people are predicting for the men. So I mean, who do you think could win this?
You're right. I don't know who I would want to see win Rumble and go main event WrestleMania. Like nobody really pops out to me at all. It's like Brock Lesnar comes back, he literally annihilates everybody in his path, and then what do you do? Like he does the Rumble, and the predictions right now is not coming from me. It's not to me.
Because
So
I
I
know,
don't
like,
know who I want to win.
well, for me, the person I want to win isn't advertised, and it's a long shot. But I kind of want The Rock to come back and win this match. I mean, I feel like he's going to come back and have one last match at some point. Because why hasn't WWE inducted him into the Hall of Fame? He's clearly Hall of Fame worthy, and he hasn't wrestled since that 7-second match at WrestleMania against Eric Rowan. That was like in
When
2000
he hosted.
or something like that. But they're holding this last match for The Rock, and it's one of those rather sooner than later kind of thing.
I
And
think with The Rock, as much it's my favorite wrestler of all time. But I think if he was scheduled to come back, he won't come back now because of what happened with his father. Like now they just probably have to rewrite stuff because of his father. It would be good to commemorate. I feel like that would be good to commemorate at WrestleMania, because at WrestleMania 13, Rocky Johnson came out to help The Rock against the Sultan, and I forgot the other guy's name. I can't think of it right now. But he came out to help them. So I feel like WrestleMania would be the best way to commemorate Rocky Johnson through The Rock if he was to make that return, not at Rumble. Even though I do want to hear his music hit.
yeah, I think we all do. I mean, my fantasy booking for The Rock would be for him to come back and win, and then challenge Brock Lesnar, and we can get that Rock versus Brock Part 2. Because we had them, years ago at SummerSlam where Brock Lesnar beat The Rock, and we never got the rematch. So we could do that at WrestleMania. Long shot, but The Rock could win, and then temporary kind of like part-time wrestle until maybe next year's WrestleMania and have that big match against Roman Reigns that been rumored for years. That was rumored for last year's WrestleMania, but Roman Reigns had the leukemia, and they did not know his status for WrestleMania, so that was like rumored to change plans. But The Rock has been rumored to come back for a few years now, and it hasn't happened. And a lot of it's because of his Hollywood schedule and all that. But just gut feeling is I just feel like he's going to come back. And like I said, he's not getting any younger. It's got to be sooner than later. So I mean, why not have him be a big surprise? And no one's gonna cry and argue about it, because I mean, most people don't like the idea of legends and coming back and taking away these spots. But it's The Rock.
It's The Rock, and I fight anybody who decides different.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, but as far as a more realistic, I wouldn't be surprised if Roman was in this match as well and he won, and just because I think it's Roman Reigns is going to win the Royal Rumble again at some point in his career. He's basically like this generation's John Cena.
He's a Samoan John Cena.
Yeah, he's a Samoan Johnson, and he's going to win the Royal Rumble again, and it would not surprise me at all if he were to win this year.
Right.
And then go on and fight Bray Wyatt. I don't want to see Roman versus Brock again. I'll just say that.
I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over that as well. So now, as far as the last match, the women's Royal Rumble match now. There's been a few women that have been rumored to win. Sasha Banks, her name has come up a lot. Ronda.
Sasha Banks, everybody is really rallying behind Sasha Banks to win. And I'm not even mad at it because all the bumps and finishes she took in the first Royal Rumble match, I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, she was the first entrant in the first women's Royal Rumble match, and she made it down to the final four.
And it was
So,
for the Bella Twins.
yep, it was her, the Bella Twins, and Asuka. And I at the end of the day, I want not Ronda. I want Sasha. I am rallying behind Sasha for this. I feel like she deserves it because she's been a workhorse for this company for years now, and she's never properly got her moment. Like every time she's won that title, she drops it. The first title defense, and I feel like she's face of the division, worthy. Like she has everything. She has the look. She has the in-ring skills. She has the passion. There's no wrestler, and I don't know if you feel differently, but there's no wrestler in the women's division who makes other people look as good. Like if you think about it, Becky's best matches were with Sasha. Charlotte's best matches were with Sasha. Same thing.
So was Bayley's.
My favorite Ronda Rousey match was with Sasha at last year's Royal Rumble. Asuka's best main roster match was with Sasha. Alexa, my favorite Alexa Bliss matches were with Sasha. She makes everyone look good, and my friend Stephanie said it very well. She can wrestle a mop and get it over. She
That's
makes
so true.
everyone in that ring look good, and as much as I like Becky, she's had every time the spotlight has been on her, her matches have been disappointing. Like that WrestleMania match last year didn't really live up to what a lot of people wanted it to be. Even the Survivor Series match kind of flopped a little bit. When has a Sasha Banks match flopped? I can't even think of one. I feel like WWE owes it to her to have her win this Royal Rumble, go on the WrestleMania, and finally win this title and have a decent title reign. I mean, she can carry the torch and she can be the face of that division, and she can make this company a lot of money too. I mean, everyone loves Sasha. Her merchandise will sell, and she's just money. Like everyone, when her and Bayley are on TV, everyone's tweeting and talking about Sasha, not Bayley. It's Sasha's year. But honestly, my gut feeling, because the way WWE has booked Sasha in these years, my gut feeling is telling me Ronda will come back and win.
Yep, I feel so too.
Yeah, a lot, because there are people that are saying Shayna could win. I wouldn't be mad about that. I do like Shayna, but at the same time, I prefer WWE to kind of build the future. Shayna Baszler, as much as I love her, she's in her late 30s. How much longer is she going to wrestle? And then even Ronda.
Yeah, she's almost 40.
Yeah, and then Ronda, she wants to start a family. If she comes back, she'll probably be around until WrestleMania, and that's it. Maybe she'll stick around until next year's WrestleMania, but still, Sasha's going to be here for years. And, I don't really want them to just, give this moment to someone who's going to be around temporarily. Because I do love Ronda. I am a Ronda fan. And I will say this now, she was the only reason I've ever cared about UFC. I watched UFC just for her matches. When she left, I stopped watching and I stopped caring. I love Ronda, but they don't need Ronda to win the Royal Rumble to start a feud with Becky. The storyline's already there.
Right, that's true. It's absolutely true. Yeah, so for Women's Royal Rumble, I feel like Naomi's gonna come back. I don't know if she's gonna win. I would want her to win, but I know she'll come back. Who else will come back? I feel like if Sasha wins, that's a good one. AJ Lee.
Yeah, I can see her coming back just because CM Punk kind of came back. I mean, he came back with the backstage television, but I could see AJ coming back even if it's just for this match. And like you said, I definitely could see Naomi coming back too. She's been out for a while. Her being away wasn't injury related, so she can come back at any time. And it was more of a mental thing. But I would love to see Naomi come back. I wouldn't be mad if she won either. I think that she's deserved better than what she's got. Honestly, she's kind of the full package too. I mean, she's one of those, maybe she could tweak her mic skills a little bit. But other
Yeah,
than
yeah,
that,
yeah.
she has the skills, she has the look. I would love to see her win the Royal Rumble.
Me too.
I definitely see, the Royal Rumble match being similar to last year's, and we see a lot of NXT superstars in it as well. I really want to see Bianca. I don't think she was in it last year, to be honest with you.
She wasn't.
Yeah, I think she'll definitely be in it. She's gotten way too popular not to be in it.
And Nia Jax is probably gonna make her comeback.
I wouldn't be surprised if she came back as well. I really want to see some of the underdogs in NXT in this match too, like the women we don't really see too much. I really want to see Lacey Lane, or she's Kaden Carter, she goes by now. I would like to see WWE do something interesting and maybe have someone from like the independent circuit or something. Someone who's not even with the company just show up. That would be kind of cool too. But it would have to be someone who kind of has somewhat of a name.
Right. I feel like that could work. So I really don't have a real prediction of who I want to win Rumble. As long as it's not like the Iconics or whatever, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, like for me personally, there's a lot of women they can go with and they can win. Like I mentioned this on Twitter. Like it would be cool if Bianca Belair won it, and she had a feud with Becky, because I mean her husband is on Raw, so
it's on Raw, right? It makes sense.
It would make sense for her to go to Raw, and WWE would be building a new star, honestly, because the Raw Women's Division needs some kind of spark, because it's really just Becky, and I mean they do got Charlotte, but I don't want to see another Becky and Charlotte feud. I mean the Kabuki Warriors, but their tag team, they need something, and I think
I want to see a Charlotte Bianca feud, because remember at Survivor Series when she took the kiss and was like, "You can kiss my ass" or whatever. So I really want to see a Charlotte Bianca feud.
Yeah, I mean, hey, have Bianca win the Royal Rumble, beat Becky at WrestleMania, and then put her in a feud with Charlotte Flair.
That'll work.
That would be really awesome as well. I mean, Bianca's probably the only one out of NXT where I think would have the best chance to win. I don't like seeing Io Shirai winning or anything like that. I think like we just mentioned too, her husband's on Raw, so I mean, I think her coming to Raw at some point is kind of in that Google. So yeah, I mean, just the only thing is, like, will we see any legends in this match?
I mean, but who will we see? Like the legends we've seen, they was in the first one. None of them really came out last year, except for who's the legend that came out last year?
Didn't Caitlyn come out last year?
I believe so.
I know she was in the Mae Young Classic, the last one that we had, but I don't remember if she was in the
I don't know.
Because the thing is, I mean, what legend could you bring back that hasn't been brought back? I mean, they could easily bring Lita back again, or Trish, but
right.
They loaded it up so much, during the first match. There's really no one new that they could really bring back, or other than maybe like a Sable.
That's what I was thinking, but Brock Lesnar's not gonna let her out.
True.
I feel like they should bring Stephanie in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I know you all mentioned that on your latest episode. Yeah, I would love to see Stephanie. I mean, she probably has that mentality where she doesn't want to take away a spot from, another woman, but it's Stephanie McMahon. She's been a part of, this company for 2 decades, and it's like, why not? I think she deserves the spot. I mean,
I think so too.
Yeah, she has such a strong influence, in that locker room and, her backstage role. Like, I think it would be cool to see Stephanie, in this match. I mean, I think it could lead up to a pretty good, comedic moment, everyone, beating up on the boss, I think that would be kind of cool.
But I feel like Stephanie will come back, because she has some moves too. So I feel like Stephanie will come back and like, forget I'm your boss. Like, now I'm going to be that girl who's going to, whip your ass. Like, I'm going to go into my DX realm and pick up the stuff that I learned from my husband way back when. And, kick some ass.
Yeah, she
I
could.
see it.
I mean, I see her on Instagram all the time posting, her.
Working out.
She
Hmm.
keeps in shape. Like, she can still, like, go. I mean, yeah, we're not going to see her do, like, the crazy athletic
Somersaults and whatnot. Yeah.
suicide dives and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, she could still kick some butt. So I would love to see Stephanie in this match. And she's another, sooner rather than later kind of person because, she's also, I mean, she's not that old, honestly. I think she's in her early 40s,
Yeah.
but
I
still,
think she's like 41.
41, yeah. Almost like a decade younger than Triple H. But yeah, Stephanie being in this match is probably the biggest legend that they could really have that hasn't been in it already.
One, she's not a decade younger than Triple H. Triple H is like 47 or something like that.
And I think he's a
They're
little
they're
older than that.
they're around the same age in sense. I guess I don't know. But it's crazy. I wouldn't even mind Shane popping back up into the Royal Rumble picture either.
I would love to see Shane in the Royal Rumble too. And
Hell, even maybe Vince.
oh hell no.
Vince the way he can still wrestle. So hey.
Hell no, that man is 70 years old, but Triple H is 50. I just checked.
Oh, he's 50.
Yeah, he may not look it, but yeah, he's 50. I knew he was getting up there.
Oh, I think like 47, 48.
Nope, 50 years old, according to Wikipedia.
Oh, so you can't trust Wikipedia.
It says he was born July 27th, 1969. 50 years old.
Oh, you can't. I don't trust Wikipedia because people can edit stuff. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But so I feel like if I was to really have to narrow down prediction for the women's Royal Rumble to win, I would have to say Naomi or Bianca, because I don't think there has ever been. No, there has not been a black woman to win the Royal Rumble yet.
Yeah, well, there's only been two,
So
so.
only been two. So first year was Asuka, second year was Becky. So
Yeah.
now look, two of them are fighting each other this year again. So I would have to say Naomi or Bianca. For the men, oof, damn. I don't know who I want to win for the men, to be honest. I feel like for the men, I want like more of an underdog. Right now for me, an underdog is like Drew McIntyre. Um, I also feel like I'm not feeling this whole Monday Night Messiah thing from Seth Rollins, but that's kind of out. Or maybe I want Kofi Kingston to win again, or to win so he could go to WrestleMania and have another WrestleMania moment. Or even anybody from the New Day, to be honest. If Xavier Woods come back.
That's a good idea. I would love to see, like, it would be a good, like, redemption storyline for Kofi to win and then go back after Brock. Because they never,
They never did anything with that, right?
right after he dropped that title, it was all about Cain Velasquez, so they kind of just threw, Kofi back with the tag team titles and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I would love that. Like I said, I would love The Rock to come back and win, but I'm all for, them, either doing a really good redemption storyline with Kofi or building the future, which is something I've been really wanting them to invest in for years. Maybe like Ali, like how cool would that be if he, like, when no one's expecting Ali, or maybe like a Buddy Murphy or something like that.
I would love Ali to win. Oh my God, I love Mustafa Ali. Like, I loved him since day one.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have him. I would love to see him win, like, especially because his vignettes is like now it's so dark
Mm-hmm.
and so driven and so motivating, and to a certain extent. So yeah, I would love to see him win too.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need to do something with him. Just it's to the point where they can't rely on these legends anymore. I mean, they're getting old, they're fading away. I mean, we saw Kurt Angle and Batista have their retirement matches last year, and the Undertaker, he's on his last leg. Triple H, I mentioned, is, according to Wikipedia, 50 years old. They really need to start building wrestlers, or they're going to be in some deep shit in the future because they need people to sell tickets.
Right.
And then, kind of going back to the women's, like I said, I want Sasha. I think Sasha deserves it, but like my gut is going with Ronda. WWE, they like doing these, they like having these pops and these moments, even if it's only short term. And Ronda winning would be it would put her in that feud with Becky, and it would be a money match, but it's, like I mentioned, they don't need her to win in order for this to happen. But that's what my gut says, and I hope my gut is wrong, but yeah, I want Sasha to win this, and going back to Bianca, I would love Bianca or Naomi to win it, or even like another like underdog, like I mentioned, like building the future. What a outside of Bianca, it would have been cool to see Liv Morgan win it if they would have, kind of booked her return a little better.
Yeah, her return was trash. Like nobody wants you to return to be in a love triangle, whatever you want to call it. Like nobody wants to see that. And then you talk about how big of a bitch you are and this and that. I'm pretty sure her match for Lana was good, but I feel like her packaging of her return should have been way more epic. If
Yeah,
it was going to be dark, it should have been way more dark. If it was going to be more of a chaotic side, it should have been way more chaotic.
yeah, the
Like you just,
videos that she was, producing prior to her return were very deceiving. Like they're nothing like what we've seen on TV. Like they gave us this impression that she was going to come back and be dark. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show Gotham, but she gave me this Barbara Keene kind of vibe, and then she comes back and she's in this love, storyline, and it's just really stupid. And I don't like. I'm a big fan of women's wrestling. I don't want to see these love triangle stories.
not all the time. Like no.
And to me, it just like I feel like it's they do it for the like I don't is Lana still a part of Total Divas?
No.
Okay, yeah, I feel like they've done storylines like that in the past for Total Divas because a lot of the fans, a lot of people who watch that kind of stuff like the drama, so they usually have these storylines on at wrestling too to accommodate to the TV shows. But yeah, I don't like those kind of storylines, not in wrestling honestly. So it's just disappointing that they threw Liv Morgan in there because Liv Morgan, she has potential with character. Like we know she can do that crazy like chick Harley Quinn kind of stuff and like because like that, because I mean, Lana, I don't know how good she's gotten. We really haven't seen much of her wrestling in a while. Like, I know at one point when she was feuding with Naomi, she was getting squashed in 5 seconds, in those matches. So it's like, I want to see her actually, like, what she could do now, because apparently she's been doing a lot of training and all that kind of stuff. I want to see how far she's grown.
Right. I want to see her actually fight instead of all of this leave me alone and like girl bye. Nobody cares about you and your Bobby. Nobody cares about that. Let me see you wrestle. Like that's it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that I mean, I really have nothing more to say about, my predictions and thoughts and opinions. I mean, what about you?
I think I said what I said. I just want to see what happens on Sunday. You're gonna come out here to New York on Sunday. So those wrestling girls in Old Face Wrestling will be live tweeting Royal Rumble this Sunday at Legends. So if you're in the New York area, come check us out so I can play off of everybody's reactions. Because usually I'm never wrong on predictions. It's very rare that I'm wrong on predictions. Very rare. And for Rumble, I don't know. It's kind of iffy. But I'm usually never wrong on predictions.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of a good thing. I like how we're kind of, we don't really know what's going to happen because it kind of takes away from the event when it can expect to know what's going to happen. Like last year, I mean, even though we love the moment, I mean, everyone kind of knew Becky was going to win. So even when
right.
Lana came out limping at the end, everyone was in the crowd was chanting
Her name.
she was going to come out. This year we don't know. It could be Sasha, it could be Ronda, it could be Shayna. For the men,
Bianca.
yeah, it could be Bianca. Like, and for the men's, we really have no idea. I mean, I've heard Drew McIntyre's name. I've heard Roman Reigns' name. Yeah, I really haven't heard anyone else's name though. But I have a hard time believing Drew McIntyre will win. But you really don't know, and that's what actually makes this year's Royal Rumble just exciting. Just because you don't know what's gonna happen.
You know what just popped up in my head when you said Drew McIntyre? I don't know why, because it has no correlation with either. But the Val Venus Hello Ladies theme song popped in my head. I'm like, oh, but he's about to make an appearance at Rumble. Like, if I hear Hello Ladies this Sunday, at Rumble, that's it. I'm throwing my drink and I'm walking out. That's it. Like, I used to love Val Venus.
He
All
was
of
my
that.
favorite growing up, coming out with the bathrobe and the towel and
The
all. I would
towel.
love to see him come out and because WWE really hasn't done that much lately when it comes to legends and their men's matches. Because I think their surprises more so are NXT now. I know, like
Hmm.
2 years ago, they had the Hurricane come out.
Oh yeah, stand back. There's a hurricane coming.
Every
I
year
like the
there's
hurricane.
always someone like the Road Dogg or some legend from the past. They don't really do that much anymore. I want to see like a Val Venus or even one of the Dudley Boys or something like that. But
Well, Bubba Ray did come. Remember, Bubba Ray came out in 2015 or 2016.
was it 20? Because he came back with Bubba and Devon came back in 2015 and they had a run for like a year and
Yeah,
then
they came back that SummerSlam, but by himself, it was only Bubba Ray. Bubba
uh,
Ray came back by himself in Rumble, but then they came back that SummerSlam together. And then me and
yeah, I
he,
do
yeah.
remember that. I remember that now that you say that. Yeah, because he had like the. Because I remember the missile went off because that was the beginning.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
pyro.
remember about that. Yeah, I think that would be really cool to see, one of, the Attitude Era wrestlers come out, because, once again, they're not getting any younger, and it's always a nice surprise. And that was like my favorite thing about the Royal Rumble was legends coming back. I don't argue about the NXT guys coming out, but we see them every week on NXT. We don't see Val Venus or anything anymore. So it's like that's kind of what the Royal Rumble's about.
Right. The only one I want to see come out is Keith Lee, especially because now he's North American champion.
I
That's
think, yeah, Keith Lee, I can definitely see him coming out, honestly. But we've seen like Adam Cole enter before, so I won't
it.
really
Yeah.
too much to see him.
Oh yeah, Adam Cole entered last year. Yeah,
And
nah,
the
I
year
don't need to see
before
that.
that too, because I remember he came out after his Aleister Black match, and he had the white band around him.
Right. You know what? I think Velveteen Dream is gonna make an appearance at Rumble.
I can see
I know
that.
he's injured or whatever, but I feel like Velveteen Dream is definitely gonna make his appearance at Rumble.
I heard, well, it's not really a rumor, but there's been rumors about Killer Cross. I don't know if you're really familiar with him or not, about him signing with WWE, and I posted a tweet on my O-Face page about,
Oh, Killer Cross. Yeah, I saw.
and he retweeted it with a GIF, like, so it makes me think maybe he could be in it. The only thing is, like, he, a lot of people are saying that, he may not get, that much of a crowd reaction because he's not like at AJ Styles' level. But at the same time, a lot of people who go to these Royal Rumble events, they are your hardcore fan base. So I think that he still will get a decent reaction. I just don't want him to debut in the Royal Rumble and then go to Raw or SmackDown. I would love to see him debut and then go to NXT, where I think he'll get the better booking and the better crowd reaction.
Yeah, I feel so. I feel like that can definitely be the plan because, like, when AJ Styles came out, in what was that, 2017? Was that the year Roman won?
It was 2016 he came out because Roman
2016.
Reigns was in the ring when he came
Yeah,
out,
he was in the ring. So 2016 was the year that Roman Reigns had to have his belt. His belt was on the line at Rumble.
and Triple H.
Okay, so that's when Triple H won. Okay, so that's 2016. So when he came out at number 3, and I had Roman's face on screen, like, who the hell is this? And then I'm just like, oh, because I never really heard of AJ Styles until leading up into to Rumble. So I'm like, all right, let me go back to see what AJ Styles was about. Then I'm like, oh, AJ Styles was on was in WWE way back when he didn't cut it. Then he was in TNA. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, see, like he had, somewhat of a name because I remember I watched him in Impact Wrestling back in 2011, and and then he went to New Japan and Ring of Honor, and he made a name for him, there, and so he like I said, all those hardcore fans were there, so he had that crowd reaction, and AJ Styles is so good, the casual fans really picked up on him really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody, like I don't even think Vince thought he was gonna get that popular so quick. I mean, because he had that WWE title like 6 months later.
He did.
So
He really did.
I unfortunately don't think Killer Cross will, get that. I mean, I'm not too familiar other than just hearing people talk about him. I know my friend Mania is a really big Killer Cross fan, but I've never seen him wrestle. I just know he supposedly has like a kind of a Dean Ambrose kind of gimmick where he's like really crazy and statistic and stuff like that. So I think if he
But do
comes
not
back,
like him already.
yeah. So I mean, I would rather him go to NXT. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
the Raw and SmackDown. It's just the rosters are so crowded. It's
And I feel like he'll get lost too much in that. It won't get that pop he deserves or that spotlight that he deserves in Raw and SmackDown.
exactly. Plus NXT's, they're battling with AEW, so I think that's a good way to stick it to them as well.
Mhm. Mhm. I agree with that. Really agree with that.
All right, well, Krista, I think that that wraps it up. So yeah, thank you for joining us today on the show.
Thank you for having me again. I will see
Absolutely,
you
2 weeks from
on
today.
Sunday.
Yep.
And for those of you who want to know where we're at, we'll be at Legends on Sunday. If you're in the tri-state area, please come out. Please join us. Have a drink with us. Live tweet with us. See our reactions. Argue with us. Everything. Because Rumble's about to be lit. And we're celebrating Queen PR's birthday. So you guys have to come out.
Exactly, and guess who else's birthday will be this Sunday?
Who else's birthday will be this
Sasha
Sunday?
Banks.
Sasha Banks' birthday will be this Sunday, you guys. So on that note, you guys have to come. That's it.
Exactly.
That
So
is
for
it.
all y'all that are coming to Legends, we will see you on Sunday. For all you that won't be able to make it, we'll see you on Twitter because we Krista just said we will be live tweeting.
And y'all know it's rare that I live tweet, so y'all already know. Y'all better stay tuned for what I got going on.
Exactly. It's always interesting hearing what you got to say because I know you and P can be pretty different.
Bump heads.
Exactly. Like yin and yang. So,
Yes.
yep. We'll see you all on Sunday, either on Twitter or at Legends. Thank you all
Yes.
for tuning in again. Thank you again, Krista, for joining us today.
Of course. Bye.
Bye.